Welcome back to yet another episode of All the Boom. I am your host. My name is Zedmod. That is creator code Zedmod in all Supercell sources. Today we are going to be doing all sorts of Boom Beach. Basically all of the Boom Beach, as a matter of fact. So we're going to start out with Warships. I have got 2 accounts sitting in Diamond. Rank 22 was unlocked by this right about here. That 130% troop damage mixed with brick just makes you peel through bases. And shocks are okay, but I am now saving for those buses right there. Lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of good stuff at the 7 engine room level. So going backwards for things like barrage or critters or even artillery, not what I would be recommending at this point. If you're anywhere close to going to 7, you should probably be holding out, because that building health and the buses and maybe even bombardiers, there's a lot of good stuff up there. Very, very much good stuff. And that is why I have held off getting that building damage. Yes, a little bit extra building damage would be good, but let's be honest, building health is always better. I'll show you how I've been attacking. There's nothing sexy here. It is just brick, battle orders, and battle orders, and battle orders, and battle orders. So many orders coming from Miss Brick, making sure we've got sound turned on. Not seeing any for some reason. There we go. So now have the background audio. You might not play with audio, but I do, because I find that it helps me a little bit. Even just to be able to hear a rocket launcher fire that you didn't think was going to be ranging, or hearing brick screaming at your heavies to get the move on, whichever one works for you. I will also be doing imitation game operation attacks. Big changes in operations this year. No, spoiler alert, that's not me saying there's updates coming with Task Force versus Task Force. I'm just talking about the engraving at the second. My hopes are that the dev team, and by the way, the dev team is very, very attentive. They watch all sorts of BoomTubers videos. They troll through Reddit. They are on Discord. They very much know what's going on. So no need to shout at them and tell them that they have absolutely broken operations, because they pretty much know that already. So whether or not that means new things are coming, I have to assume they are, because the 50-person task force became relevant when Duplexity was added to the game, and the 50-person task force has now sort of become irrelevant now that engravings have been added to the game. So there is probably going to be a 10-person task force beating Duplexity at some point. Now, it would take a very special role, and all of those players would probably have to have max level engravings, but it's not out of the question, which is insane. So 50-person task forces used to be required, and 25-person task forces would dabble into Duplexity, but now it's at the point where it's just become easy. Our fairly casual task force is beating Duplexity, and with the fact that we are beating Duplexity means that lots and lots and lots of players are beating Duplexity. So we are now going to get that heavy onto that right-hand side engine room, because what that's going to allow us to do is get onto this engine room right about here, right about now, and we got a 2-minute 31-second time. Anything 220 or above is generally pretty decent, and as you can tell by this base, base is standing up very, very well. Have been very impressed with this base. It was sent by Luke, aka Skywalker. I'm not sure who designed it. I think there's like one person who designs bases, and that is all. Now, I have seen a lot of terrible attacks, even in the diamond ranks, so just be certain that A, you've got your squad heroes loaded, and B, that you're using those flares. I really only focus on getting my meat shield out front. If you can do one thing in Season 69, just get your meat out front. If you can do that, you will do quite well. It doesn't have to be all the way out there, just hanging out a little bit. And if you're sensing some innuendos and you're new to the channel, yeah, I have a childish brain, and I will be making all of the 69s, and I can't stop myself. I tried for a little bit, but I just have no self-control. So, well, we can't get a match, so we're just going to jump on into the main base, and this helper dude has been pretty darn helpful, but one thing that he does not remind you about is to go boost your tribes. I wish it would pop up and said there's new tribes if you haven't boosted any of them. That artillery damage is beyond ridiculous. For example, on Imitation Game, we can just absolutely fly through this with zero effort or skill or thought and just fast forwarding through it every single week. I challenge you guys to a speed competition, and that is exactly what's going to happen yet again this week. So we are just going to keep pummeling Imitation Game. No need to drop any troops. You can just drop all of your artillery and then hit 3 times mode just to speed things up a teeny tiny bit. And we should be able to finish this in, I would guess, less than, let's put a time on it, less than a minute 20 even, generally speaking. And there is a way to show your time in case you haven't seen that before if you're new to the channel. Gonna keep flying through this because this is a super simple source. Yes, that's a lot of S's of intel and some power stones and some resources. I know that not all of you are fully maxed yet. I am nowhere close to fully maxed because I just don't put the time in to get those upgrades rocking. So barraging all of the stages as fast as we possibly can, and I love it when the tribes are like this. Some of you not quite so much, so we will have to wait and see how this goes. I don't think we're going to get all of the stages, so we're going to have to drop that back there, trying our best to get a little bit of extra gunboat energy. We are going to drop Everspark up the front and just need a couple more buildings to go down. One more building should do it. Stage 6, that is going to cost us on the speed front. Probably should have hit 3 times mode on that especially. So stage 6, all GBE, but took a little bit of extra time. Had to get Everspark out there just in case. And now on the final stage, I am almost certain every single one of you will be able to beat this time. We're going to go to fast forward mode. We're going to throw one more artillery, then we're going to retreat because we can't get it down. And that's the beauty of having 8 attacks for 7 stages. I would love if they gave us operation, like top leaderboard bases, or brought names back to Imitation Game. I'm not going to hold my breath, and to be honest, I would rather them not spend their time on Imitation Game. We finished in 2 minutes and 8 seconds. Rough. You guys can definitely beat that time. And one of the benefits of doing that, as you can see, is we get some of those boom passes. And in case you missed it, the boom pass this month is pretty darn great because a lot of you really like that 2025 Hero Hut. I have not got it yet. I am not fully decided. I do like the idea, but just haven't pulled the trigger yet because every dollar counts, especially this time of year after Christmas. We are going to jump back to my Engraver. I have been working desperately to try and get my armor level up. And the reason for that is because once you get that up, you can ignore level 14 rocket launchers. And so we're going to claim that. Getting alchemy, not what I was hoping to get. I have been focusing primarily on blue shards, because blue shards are the way to armor. And earlier in the day, I was greeted by this scene right here. And I gotta tell you, that hurt a lot. So if you haven't watched my engraving video, you need to go watch it, because the higher level you get, the lower your chances are of actually getting a quality increase. And you're gonna have to spend like 150 tokens just to get those final levels, and it's going to hurt. So don't go spending those right now. I know that armor right now, if we look at armor, just to upgrade its quality is 50. It's only gonna get worse. It costs a heck of a lot of shards to get this stuff to max, but it is very much worth it. And just for an example, we're going to show you level 19 rockets at the shore here, so you can't ignore those, but all of these ones back here, level 14, level 14, completely and utterly ignored. So watching Typhoon, also known as Mr. Crusader, send all of his troops towards that back core. Shocking microwaver number 1, shocking microwaver number 2, shocking microwaver number 3, and then watch this rocket launcher back here. Yes, it's hitting our troops. No, it's not doing any damage whatsoever. And your engravings do apply to your critters as well, so there's lots and lots of good stuff where it's just ridiculous. So if you haven't decided on an engraving yet, do go have a look, because like this, the fact that he doesn't have to smoke his troops on shore is beyond ridiculous. Like, that rocket launcher is doing nothing. Absolutely and utterly nothing. And then, yes, he does clear some stuff up the front here, and there's a rocket launcher there and there, both of them firing on Zookas, both of them doing absolutely nothing, and then getting his troops underneath and clearing up the side. And you guessed it, back here, level 14 rocket launchers. And look at those critters just standing in, ignoring all of the rocket launchers and just getting blasted, and nothing phasing them whatsoever. So the armor engraving has in a big way changed operations, and like I said, Supercell knows this. This is the task force that I am in. We have in the neighborhood of 7 or 8 task forces, though, if you're looking for somewhere to attack operations and get between 25 to 29 diamonds per day. Now, operation rewards are wonky. In this, for example, we get 1891 out of 2160. That is more than Forlorn Hope, but we get 4 fewer diamonds. So I really hope they do tweak the rewards on warships and on operations, but I don't have any control over that. And jumping to another account, this is one where I have had to focus on these teeny tiny upgrades just to get this account up to XP 71 so that I can get my headquarters up to 27. I play a bunch of accounts on operations and a couple on warships, and did not focus on upgrades at all. So just in case you are in the same boat, if you're trying to rush to a new headquarters level, get the smallest upgrades done. The cheapest upgrade gives the most experience per hour. So yes, we could have upgraded our mortar or something like this that's going to take days and days and cost millions of resources. These little upgrades are the way to go. They will get you to your next headquarters level faster. You have to log in more often, obviously, and you don't want to do these kind of upgrades overnight, but they're a great way to rush experience. Now, I am going to do an operation attack yet again, and quick note, do make sure that you have that Zooka damage tribe boosted as well. Artillery is great for things like imitation game and getting intel and stuff like that, but the Zooka damage tribe is fantastic for operation attacks. Now, I am going to do a simple, do I have a boat empty? Yes, I do. So we're going to load that boat with some troops, specifically with Zookas. You'll notice that we do have Grenadier and Laser Ranger media. We also have these cryo tanks, but they cost so much GBE to load, it is ridiculous. So I am not using them for anything except for clearing my map on my ridiculous account that I have full boosted. So do get your Laser Ranger Grenadier combo going. Maybe I'll do like one account attack with that later on, but for now we're going to do Tarsier, I don't know how to say this word, but those rocket launchers do range the shore if you let them. Those lines on shore are very, very obvious though, so what we're going to do is use those lines on shore. Zookas drop on that line that is below the mortar, so we are going to use those to our advantage. We're going to flare to right there and just walk our troops underneath the range of the rocket launcher and underneath the range of the mortar, starting out wide so that we don't have to worry about those pesky rocket launchers, and then throwing a smoke about there on that line that we already saw and getting all of our troops moving, staying underneath the smoke. And then we're going to go to right about there. Whether or not that's the right spot to go or not, I don't really know. We're going to go like this, getting double smokes for our troops to sit underneath, and then one right there just to distract all the rest of the stuff. And then as that smoke wears off, we're going to throw a shock there and there and there, and that should be about good enough, I think. As bricks battle, oh, we're too close to the shock launcher. That is not ideal placement at all. We had the GBE for it too, and I just utterly and completely botched it. So, yeah, once you start to get used to those armor engravings, if you've got a couple accounts, A, you start to get a bit sloppy, and B, you start to make mistakes. So not a great start from me on the operation side of things. I will come back with a Duplexity hit to finish. We've done imitation game. We've talked about engravings. I told you how to avoid the squad leader bug. Don't put a squad leader in this slot down here, and you will always have squad leaders loaded. And I have heard that that bug has been found and fixed from the devs. So whenever we get in our next update, that will be fixed. Now, quick note on the update front. Sheer conjecture here, by the way. This is my second account in Diamond. We have done a decent win rate of the last little bit, and that all comes thanks to, again, that troop damage right about there. Now, if you're considering getting that troop damage and you're using heavies, make gosh darn sure that you have this heavy boost. Reminder that Mr. Zendo pointed this out. This is 69% boost. You get both health damage and health boost and damage boost. This is one of the best nodes in Boom Beach Warships this season. So if you don't have that, do consider going back and getting it. It does so much good. And now I'm going to show you how I'm using Laser Rangers. I was using 4 boats of Laser Rangers. They started dying, so I went down to 3 boats. They kept dying. Down to 2 boats. You never would have guessed it, but they kept dying. I'm now down to 1 boat, and I probably would be faster if I had 0 boats, but I am stubborn. We are going to get 1 attack here. I will probably lose because I am the only player in Season 69 history, being careful to say season in there, to not have rocket launchers. I saved a whole 6 tokens by going through mechs, and it was good for like maybe 4 hours, and now it's been stupid the rest of the season. So not ideal. And I know a lot of you are going from this left ramp. I think going from the right ramp with brick makes more sense. So that is what I'm doing. Change my mind. I would love to hear your thoughts on that. If you're using brick, are you using the left ramp or the right ramp? We are going to get rid of that. We're going to get our meat out in front like we've talked about a whole lot. Getting a battle orders, and then we're gonna drop our Laser Rangers way late. That is very important, I think, because what it means is that our Laser Rangers are not gonna get wrecked by those rocket launchers or the shock launchers, and as long as we can get our troops somewhere close to this stuff, we're gonna do all right. The Laser Rangers are on the right. They have that Minesweeper dude trying his best to keep them alive, which is fairly darn important. And now we're going to get 1 more shock over here because I need to keep my Zuka dude alive. Brick managed to die. That is the first time Brick has died on me this season, I want to say. So getting a little bit unlucky there. Our Laser Rangers will be like 47% as effective because she has died, but not the end of the world. Just need to keep our Zuka dude alive. We're going to throw some artilleries back here on this boom cannon just to make gosh darn sure that they do stay alive. And then 1 more shock on that shock launcher back there because that stuff should all be handled. And because Brick died, we have a ton of artillery that we can use. And are we going to lose? Probably. Brick dying definitely made us go slower, and this base is not good at all. The fact that this engine room is so far up that left wall, we should have gotten way faster, and if Brick wouldn't have died, I would guess we would have been like 240-ish, but that person's boom mines did their job. We're going to drop an artillery on brick. It's not going to arrive. Captain Borealis is going to get into diamond, I assume, and we are going to... They didn't even get into diamond. That's why we lost 11 stars. So we're going to fall out of diamond. They are going to get one step closer just because they are dancing lights in the sky. I think that's Borealis, right? I'll do one more, then I'll go do an operation attack, and then I'm going to bid you guys adieu for the weekend. Sick. My kid has been home for 3 days sick, and now I'm starting to get sick again. I was sick over New Year's. Now I'm back to sick. Double plus sick is not great. Where are your shock launchers? Back there. Not a lot of concerns there. Doom cannon up the front. We are going to throw a shock there. Not overly concerned. There's our meat. There's our veg. I don't know. Anyways, we're going to get brick over here and then just hanging out for a second. Once we get this stuff going, I don't have any concerns about that back stuff. We should be able to get our meat going towards that right there. We're going to throw a shock on this stuff and then battle orders onto all of the good stuff. As our laser rangers clear, our meat goes to the left. Our Zuka fan goes with them, and then just battle orders through. And this attack is going to be much... don't have the GBE to send our meat down here, which is a bit of a problem. So... Or is our meat dead? Our meat is dead. That is less than ideal. But, see, I was waiting for some GBE so that I could send my meat dudes down there, but the meat dudes were in fact dead. So we're going to throw a shock on there and battle orders for the rest of the days. So just throwing the artillery on that cannon, getting one more shock onto that boom cannon, and then as soon as we have a tiny bit of GBE, there, actually never mind. The Zuka fan turned all by their lonesome into the right direction, so that left-hand side clearing pretty gosh darn well. And as soon as we get any form of GBE, we're going to battle orders and probably flare. There we go, getting that flare out, getting a couple artillery out, and then all of the goodness. See, 229 with a laser ranger. I think that one boat of laser rangers is a dumb idea. I think I need to go to 2 or to 0 because I am getting faster times with just heavies, and I gotta say, clearing the clump bases was so much fun with laser rangers that I don't regret unlocking them, but I really, really do wish that I could see some more of those because it was like ASMR, like just watching them melt through all of the bases. And I know ASMR is more than watching, but you get the basic idea. And back to operations. This is Duplexity, and apparently this video is going to be the Crusader show. So Crusader is a long-time Triangle 9 member. He is fantastic about tagging. Now let's just watch. Let's just do a quick little review here. If we look at all of these rocket launchers, 14, 14, 14, 14, 14, 14, 14, you get it. All level 14. Now he throws a smoke, so I'm guessing one of these ones over here is a level 19. Yeah, there we go. And then just walking back there. Again, I was talking about Crusader. He is the person who sends out the pings on Discord to remind people to hit. He updates notes. He is an intel boss. So love players like that who can do all sorts of roles, and they are so valuable. There are some players out there who can do fantastic operation attacks, but that's all they bring. Look at this. Flamethrowers doing 0 damage as well. So engravings, fantastic. Now, if we look at all these rocket launchers, there's 119 there, and then it's all 14s otherwise. So scouting becomes so important. Before you didn't really care about rocket launcher levels. Now you definitely do, because you need to be very careful about which ones are which levels, and that has made engravings very neat because you're just scouting for different things, adding new details to the game, and that's why he has flared over to this side, because we don't care about any of these rocket launchers, but he definitely cares about that. And now, look at this, just sitting in there, getting pummeled by all of the grapplers, all of the cannons, all of the rocket launchers, and spoiler alert, yes indeed, this is a Duplexity solo on Redline. Is this broken? I will leave that to you to judge. If it's broken, I don't want it fixed. I love this. I really do hope, though, that the devs bring us new stuff. We need new operation bases. We need new events. We need all sorts of stuff because, yes, this engraving has unlocked all sorts of fun, but after a little bit, that's going to get a little bit boring. And I know some of you have already gotten to that point. Those 50-person task forces, the 25s that were already doing Duplexity, you're probably bored. I will be there soonish, but for right now, my goodness, is this ever fun. Notice the note. Remember how I said someone was making notes? Crusader, big shout out to there. Now, Q12 armor. So, quick note that your armor level roughly applies to the level of the rocket launchers. So you can see that I am saving 59 damage of 63. So if we jump back there, that was a level 13 rocket launcher. My armor is only quality level 11. So generally speaking, check out the level of the rocket launcher, and that's about the quality that you need. So if I would have had quality 12, we probably could have tanked it. Maybe you even need quality 13. I just know they have to be about close. This is Duplexity, and we've already put a huge chunk in, and it's only been, what, like 17 minutes? Typhoon is also Crusader. Now, snipe with bombers from right away from the lasers. Do I have the... Nope, not quite. If we were to send in Kavan with them, maybe we could take it out, but we're going to leave that for the second. Okay, I've done my due diligence. We are going to full boost because, again, this is Duplexity, and we're going to jump into Deja Vu. Now, warships and operations have really been split now into those attacks that can be done without armor and those that require armor level 14 and higher. So this is one of the attacks that should not require the level of armor in order to get it done. We're going to send all of this stuff over into here. I am going to flare down into there. I'm going to throw some critters there just to keep my troops alive, and then throw a shock about there, trying to keep all of our troops alive, trying to also keep all of those critters out, and we'll get one shock, or one hack I should say, just to try to distract something, anything, and mechs doing a decent job of moving us forward. That is what the mechs are there for. We're also going to get some critters out to the side just to clear all of the mines, and because there are no shield gens on this version, did I just miss that shock? Please tell me. There we go. Did not miss the shock. We do have free shocks from our friend the mechs, so this should go fairly easily. But just wanted to be extra careful, clearing all the way up the side. Everspark's critters doing great things for us, and as soon as those CMOs are gone, I will reposition ever so slightly towards the side, because those rocket launchers, although they won't do much damage to us, they will do more than zero. And the fact that we're doing the left side first is very much intentional, because now I can do things like clear all the mines on that right-hand side. And on Forlorn Hope, task forces that have been doing Forlorn Hope for years and years, you don't really have to think about anyone but yourself. Yes, for bases like Maze or whatever, you're just doing your default hits, but moving to Duplexity, you really need to work on teamwork, and I love the fact that that has come back. And Supercell, teamwork is a giant portion of why I think Boom Beach is so successful and why it managed to live through those dark years. So please bring us some task force goodness, whether it's just simple things like showing replays from warships on our task force. We need all of the goodness that can help. And I know there's no KPIs that say that yes, operations bring in money, but I fully believe that it does. And now we're just going to clear all of this stuff. Don't need to focus too much on the core yet. You know what? We're going to focus on the core. Because the worst thing we could do is not get this down. We're going to throw a hack there, and the core is going down at a decent rate. Don't need to flare the core. We're just going to keep farming all of the GBE, and previous versions of Duplexity, you'd have to throw GBE towards those back rockets. We don't have to do that because of armor, and we are going to get Deja Vu down in 2 attacks. I am almost certain, unless someone screws it up, and that's kind of the state of Boom Beach at the moment. Operations. Too easy, but still fun. Really hoping that we can keep getting some more GBE. I'd like to clear at least a couple more mines. Probably should be saving for critters at this point, because throwing artillery one at a time is not going to cut it. It's going to be very close, though. We need to keep an eye on our GBE usage. I've probably used a bit too much on hacks, for example, and maybe didn't need to bring those mechs out, but here we go. Need to throw that out there in a hurry, clearing some extra mines, and I don't know exactly where the kill zone's going to be, but it's going to be away from that shock launcher. That's why I wanted to get a couple extra mines cleared just in case. We have cleared the left-hand core, have cleared a bunch of mines for the right-hand core, and so that is a 14, that is a 19, 14, 14, so really nothing to worry about whatsoever. I kind of assume that their core hit is going to be back where I haven't cleared those mines. That's only 10 GBE though, and that's 1 shock for those, probably twice. Can get past that microwaver without a shock, so really it's just a matter of smoking past that rocket launcher, I should say. 1 shock there, probably 2 shocks there to get past, and then easy clear. Notice that the flamethrowers do absolutely nothing. Don't get fooled by the negative on the laser beam, though. That is wrong. Anyways, that is going to be it from me. We're going to do one tiny little thing, and that is to try to use all of these things to clear a base now that we have full boosted. Is that something that's going to work? No. These cryo tanks are garbage. Supercell, please boost these things, either by removing their GBE requirement or by giving them some extra damage, or both, because they are just not super duper powerful. They're not even close to, I was going to say not super duper powerful. They are not powerful at all. We are going to bring Kavan with them just so that we can get some riflemen out front of them, and we're just going to drop against a base that I have not scouted, and this is the perfect base to attack. All offensive statues, all in a perfect line. The problem is we can't shock those buildings, so we're just going to artillery them, and notice that we can't even drop all of our troops. That is with full boost. We can only drop, what is that, 5 boats? So these cryo tanks doing no damage and costing all of the GBE, just beyond ridiculous. Do they clear mines? They don't appear to, so we're just stuck here watching them do basically nothing. So we're going to get some riflemen out front. That is about all you can use for damage with these things, is getting some riflemen out front. Yes, on their replay it will say that we attacked them with all cryo tanks, but let's be honest, we are relying on those rifle dudes to do any sort of good for us. We are going to throw some artillery onto that stuff, clearing all of the buildings that we don't want to deal with, and then losing all sorts of gold every single time one of these cryo tanks gets shot down. So these guys right here, like my previous operation attack that I think is in the video, sad trombone. Proto troops, in my humble opinion, should be overpowered. You should look forward to them arriving, and I don't know a single person who looks forward to the arrival of these cryo tanks. We still have 3 boats that we have not gotten enough GBE to be able to drop. If you have a better way of using these troops, if you have a worse way of using these troops, actually, do let me know, because all cryo tanks is kind of like the new 40 medics. And if you're wondering what 40 medics means, because you can load 48 medics, then you haven't played Boom Beach long enough, perhaps. Anyways, we are going to take this thing down. It is going to take a long time. Thankfully, Boom Beach dev team has added that 3 times mode so we can speed up the paint drying a little bit, and I'm going to leave you guys there. It is the weekend, almost for me, probably for many of you by the time you watch this, so thank you for coming in, liking, sharing, subscribing, keeping those intel numbers flowing towards your task force, keeping those Boom Pass missions rocking and rolling, and more importantly, comments all the way through. If you saw something that I did wrong, something that I did not explain well, please point it out. I will be giving out bounties for every well-timed, well-phrased comment that helps me, whether it be a video suggestion or something that I've done wrong or something that I can improve. Let me know. I will be handing out diamonds, time savers, and build tokens, so keep those comments flowing. I shall talk to you soon. Thank you for coming in. I'm Zedmont. Peace.